All right, so we are going to be walking through a buyer transaction in SkySlope. If the faces are blocking you to the right, you can go up, and I believe you can change your view to like a side by side. That way it will keep the screen on the left and then the people on the right, and it won't block anything. I am going to minimize you guys, so just shout out if you have any questions. And we're going to get started. So we're going to walk through a buyer transaction today. So if I'm going to start that, I'm going to go into SkySlope. So just to show how I did that, we'll go through our two different dashboards to show you how to do that. So here we go. If you are in engage.allentate.com, SkySlope is going to be right up here at the top. You can click on that. If you use the attic more, this dashboard, SkySlope will be under references, and then you can log in right over here. You can also just go to SkySlope as well, and if you log in, you want to do the suite. So those are just different ways to get to the screen that I got to, depending on which Allentate dashboard you use, or if you just bookmarked the SkySlope login page. But it's always going to put you out onto the SkySlope transactions page, and we're going to go up to apps, and we're going to go into forms because that's where we're going to start our buyer transaction. So here we are in forms. Over to the right, we're going to click this blue button that says create new file. And this is where we would just kind of do some of the specifics of the file. This is what's going to, feed over onto some forms. So we're going to do buyer. I have the option if I have a client that has a company or trust. If I check that box, it pops up organization name, representative name. But for this, I'm just going to do one. I'm going to do my TJ tester, and I'm going to give him my email address because I'm going to walk us through the e-signing process as well. If there were multiple people, I could add an additional contact here, or I can just remove them if I accidentally clicked it. If I already had a property, maybe it was MLS, I can just do this. You copy and paste that MLS in there, and it's going to pop up right down here. And then I could just import that information in. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to do a fake property just to kind of show you what is feeding over. We'll do street. This street's out there, but I like to use testing town. And then how would you like to name your file? So in forms, you'll see, you always know what platform you're in if you look to the upper left, this logo. In forms, anything you do in forms, any file name, any way you want to do it, this is just for your organization, for you doing it. The company doesn't need you to name a file a certain way, use the address or use the client. This just toggles in between the fields that you already have set up. So I could even, type in my own one if I want. We'll leave that there. Then you have your option to create your own personal template or just use a brokerage one. If that's something that you want to do, set up your personal templates. That's something, you can set up a one-on-one with me and we can go over. But right now we're just going to use the brokerage template right here. And I'm going to grab agency. And I go down to the bottom blue button. It's going to say create. And I have my file. So along the top, we have our forms, which this is going to be all the forms that we brought in for this file. Envelopes, that's basically subfolders to this folder where groups of documents that we sent to get signed or we filled out together are going to be, and then just file details. So right now we have our forms, and this is buyer agency. So maybe we're doing buyer agency, a contract just all together right now because, you know, everything's a little crazy. I can apply template here, brokerage template, and then I'm just going to also bring in the buyer offer resale documents and apply. So just so you know, when maybe thinking through, if you're going to do personal templates, you know, you can add templates together in here. But you also, up at the top, we have add forms. So this is where you can just add forms from any of the libraries here. You can just really search. And again, if you're searching, less is more. Don't type out the whole name, just kind of start typing and see what populates. Up at the top, I can go back. And then if I want to upload any documents, maybe I have, you know, a PDF of a disclosure with the seller's signature on it or something that I want my people to sign, I can upload any PDF here and just upload it from my computer. Here's the forms. These three dots, I can delete or download anything. If I just wanted to print a quick file, I could just delete them right there. And then when I'm ready to create this and start filling it out, I'm just gonna move you over here. I'm just gonna grab a couple documents. So maybe I will grab working with real estate, and maybe I'll grab the offer to purchase to put in some dates. And we'll just skip everything else for now, but you would just go through and check mark the ones you want and then fill and send. And here we have our forms. If I realize I forgot a form, I can simply add, and I can do it from that file, from the forms library, or upload it from my computer while I'm working in this envelope that we're creating. These stacks I can rearrange if I wanted to. I can download and print any, you know, maybe I filled out this form and now I want to download and print it. I can do that here. Or I can import MLS data because maybe originally I didn't have the property and now I do. So I want to import that in.
May I ask a question at this point real quick? On the envelope, do you name that envelope with a, like I'll have like buyer's docs or seller's docs. Do you name, okay, how do you do that? Okay.
That will be the next step. We're not there yet. I'll show you.
Sorry.
Oh, not a problem. So right here we have our documents. You notice this one has an exclamation point. The cool thing is that if there's any outdated versions of this form, it's going to alert you right here. And when you're looking at the document, I can just update it now. And it's going to be the newest version. So we don't have to worry about having outdated forms on here. We're going to go back to this one and, you know, we could just fill this out if I just wanted to check mark all of these. We can see here our buyer is populating. This one is not because I did not put a second buyer. But I could even click into this and I could maybe say, okay, I want to put in his phone number too. Save. There we go. And if I just keep going down, here we go. Testing seller. Here's my information. $250. I'm not really going to fill this out. I'm just gonna try to grab a couple things that might pop up during the next phase. But you could just come down and fill this. I'll show. So this, I mean, this is just gonna open up test, you know, writing things where I could write things in here for big paragraphs. as we go.
Just need to ask again, can you import the legal description information? You do that in the beginning, because that's what I do on with my digital ink business, or Digisign, whatever I'm using, that zip forms or what program I'm using.
The tax records?
Yeah.
That's something that they're talking about getting set up, but I'm not sure when, but they've brought that suggestion to SkySlope, but it's not available right now.
Okay.
All right.
Just a follow-up question on that, Natalie. So if you import the MLS data, would that not import that information?
The import, I mean, that's going to import.
Because that information is in our MLS. So I guess it's just a matter of, I'll try it out. I'll try to start one and try it out, and I'll let you know.
Okay. That would be good. I have not, other than pulling up what to import, I haven't actually imported because I've been doing a lot of test ones.
Right. And I'll do a test one, but I'll try to import a property, maybe. I won't go that far.
Yeah, that will be perfect. But yeah, hopefully, you know, whatever is in the MLS is going to transfer over onto these fields.
Which works if it's if it's actually a listed property. So.
And also if it's listed correctly, because I've come across one, Tanya, the other day that had the wrong tax ID number in it.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah. It's human hands, human error.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking decent here. I probably actually should show a date. It would be like, you know, dollar amount. You could just type it in here. It's going to show up. Let me grab a date real fast.
You'll need to go to page like 3.
3. Okay, thank you. I was like, just looking for a date.
Might be page 2, actually. Sorry.
Here we go. This is probably a, nope, that's not a date. Aha, okay, we have a date.
The due diligence should be a date. Maybe they've made it.
Oh,
there you go.
Well, see, that's a good, you click up here, you have a free-for-all. Yeah, I can type whatever up there. If you want a quick date, you would click that bottom row. So if that's a good little tip, if anything is on 2 lines, you can always click into the other line if you're not getting what you think you should be getting up here. Okay, so now we have a couple of dates. Our document is filled out. Again, we could download it if we have it nice and cleanly filled out, or we can save and exit if we're not ready to e-sign yet. Maybe we're waiting on one more question. If I did that, it's going to pop up with asking me to name the envelope. And then I'm going to go through and prepare signature. And so here I also can name that envelope, which is what you were asking for. And so you can just rename this, you know, however you want it to be organized. And then you're going to default to no action, and we're going to want you to sign. So just pay attention to that. And of course, I put in just the testing seller, but we don't have their email address. I'm going to put no action because they're not doing anything on our documents. But just because you see him up here, this just means they know he's like a contact. Just kind of similar to, you know, how zip forms had your different contacts and stuff. We're going to click next. So we grabbed our documents, we filled them out, and now we are in Digisign where we'll get e-signing done. So as we go down, we're going to see basically that these are pre-mapped out with what people need to sign. The company pre-mapped it out, which is great. Our forms are going to be to the left. Our recipients are going to be to the left. If I click these three dots, I can choose to edit. And here I could add maybe someone if I just wanted them to receive a copy. I could add them over here. Maybe I noticed an email address was wrong. I can come in here and fix that. Everything is defaulted to one signing group, but I can switch and change that around if I wanted to, and do that there. I like it just all going out together, but that's kind of what you can do with editing recipients. And then
I'm sorry, Nelly, is that the point right there where, like on the one I'm using there, you can designate someone, or if you don't have any designation, whoever gets to it first can sign it?
Yeah, so it's just going to go out to everybody. They're going to sign it when they can.
No particular order.
Yep.
Okay,
so see, this just says who signs first. If I did that, we'd have a line of who could sign second. But this is...
Yep, thanks.
Okay, and then so the last part about any e-signing is, okay, what if I've uploaded a PDF? What if I need to put in a signature and initial? So that's going to be the top line right up here. It's going to show us who is the one we're doing it for. So right now we're doing it for me. And you would just click it and then click it where I want it to go. Obviously not really here, but. And I could just stick that right in here. It's going to give me an option to delete anything I wanted to on this. And then initials will be the same way. I click. When this is highlighted, I can just drop it in, move it around. And you'll also see to the left that there will be an option where it can be an optional field. So if a checkbox is, optional and you already talked to them and you know what option they're going for, you could make it so that, they're choosing this, it's required, and you're getting rid of the other options just because, you talk through it with them. So yeah, optional, not, we'll let them know. If I needed to put just their name underneath, if I like how that looks, or I can delete anything I don't want. And then you do have options to do dates, text fields, strikes, checkboxes. That's more advanced. If that's something that you ever run into, feel free to give me a quick call and I can walk you through setting any of those up in that circumstance. But for now, that's just what we would do. I can change it to be who I want just up there. But basically just this whole line is for putting in signatures, initials. You just change the person you want it to go to. And so that is the e-signing. So we can now just send it out. I can always save and exit. So again, if you're maybe not ready to send it right away, you just wanted it all queued and ready to go, you can save and exit. We're going to send. Here we can change the email subject line or the message if we want. The default is very simple, just you have documents to sign. So they know that what they're getting, and we'll send. When we do that, since we put that we are signing and we can be a first person to sign, we have this option to sign now. And what you see is exactly what your client will see. So if you ever need to coach someone through this process, they're doing exactly what you see. So we agree to the terms. They can click start at the top, or they can just scroll down to the first signing that they have to do. We are gonna find ours. Here we go. So I could just click the first one I see. They can choose a font or they can draw if they want. Use this signature here, and we'll finish signing. We can download these signed documents, but we only have our signatures on them. So I'm just going to say I'm done. And here we have our envelope. So at any point in time, like, okay, so I did this part, I'm going to go about my day. But now I want to check back into this envelope, see if, what's going on with it, if I need to resend it or something. So anytime you're in files, you're just going to find that file that's yours. And we're just going to go over to the envelopes, and it's going to be right there, signed by one of two. And these 3 dots are always going to be our menu option. Or I can download any of these. I can resend the envelope. If I do that, I have a chance to edit this. If maybe I notice I did a typo on the email because they said they never got it, I could fix that here, send a reminder. Or I can cancel the signing. If I went through and signed, I noticed I slipped up, and I cancel and redo it. You can do it that way. But I'm just going to sign as the client real fast. Here we go. Training agent has requested your signature. Get started. And so then we can walk through that next part. So again, accept the e-signature terms. They can just click start if they want. And this is showing them this is required. Choose a font. And it's going to show them down here how many required fields that they have. So say if they just start, maybe looking over and they skip one. Now we're just going to do the rest of them real fast. I'm just going to show you that it will take them back to the one that they missed, even if they missed 2 because they're exploring. They were like, wait, is this right? They went back to it. Here we go. It's going to take them back to the ones they missed down here, 14 out of 16. And then here we go. Once they've done all 16, they can then finish signing.
I had a question on that because sometimes I'll miss a box because in the system I'm using now, I'll click on it, for them to put their initials. Does this automatically place them, or did I miss that part?
This automatically places them. Yep, the company's mapped out.
Oh no, that's good. That's good because I've actually missed, a box, and I say, uh-oh, I missed one. I have to send it to you again. My other question would be, when you say that you can download these and save them, where are you saving them to? Is it in the envelope? Can we save them down to our own computer files, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it's automatically going to be in your envelope on Digisign. If you download them, that's just downloading them to your computer.
Okay. That's what I always like to review something before I send it out, to make sure I've got everything. Okay.
Yep. And again, with the automatic mapping, that's going to be for any forms that we pulled in from a form library. PDFs that you've uploaded, you'll still need to map those out because computers can't map out PDFs.
Are you talking about the text box when you say map out or something?
Signatures, initials.
Oh, okay.
So on the official forms from like forms libraries, the company has mapped out to automatically place initials and signatures.
Yes.
But for PDFs, you can't map that out and know where the signature should go because a PDF doesn't read like that. It just shows a document. So for those, you'll have to.
Okay, it's just not, because that's not communicating because it's okay. I understand.
Yeah, so you'll have to put initials or signatures on PDFs that you upload.
Okay.
Okay, so here your clients can download these signed documents if they want, so that they have them now that it's all done. And then both you and them will get an email saying your document has been completed. And we'll see right here, our envelope is now completed. So once we have a finished envelope, or basically once we have signed documents, we're ready to submit it to the company to say, hey, I have a transaction. Now we're ready to get into SkySlope. So we're going to go to apps and click SkySlope. And we want to create a transaction. We have our signed documents, we have a deal, we're ready to let the company know. We're going to go over to SkySlope Forms, because here we go, select. I'm going to grab that file that I just made, and so stuff is going to start auto-populating for me. Anything that is a red asterisk is what we have to fill out, kind of just like filling out a sales report. But most of it you can see here is going to kind of have been brought across. So we're going to do checklist type. This is important to let the processors know what documents you need. So you'll just look North Carolina, under contract, resale, buyer represented. I am on the purchase side. Year built is important because they need to know if the lead-based paint is required. And then, oh, I missed the date. So we're going to say this was accepted, today, closing tomorrow. The price is in there. Oh, buyer agent. This is not MLS official. This is just in company. So I'll go over this more in the commission tab. But just so you know, this is where you could put in someone else. And it doesn't have to be MLS specific. And so I'll tell you in just a second when we get to the commission tab why you might want to do that. I'm going to click next. So I filled in transaction details. We're making this lovely summary up at the top. And now we're just going to go through contacts. So we can see my seller came across because I put them in. I can see, of course, my buyer came across with information that's needed here. I can see this, nothing's required on here. There's no red asterisks, but there's one. So I'm going to just put an agent from testing company and save. And so you can see no more red asterisks. I just have 3 little green check marks. I am ready to submit this in. Now we're at the commission tab. So here we can put in all the information, communicate what's going on with commission. It's a personal deal, that can go there. I'm getting 3%. Other deductions, if for any reason the check that you are turning into the company is different than what they're expecting, you can put that deduction here. And then additional commission information, this is where you can explain why. This text box really is to just communicate what's going on with this deal if there's anything out of the ordinary. So here we have, will your brokerage hold earnest money? No, because we're on that buy side, so I'll click that. Referral type is asterisked, just because having to do a referral once a deal is closed is very messy for everyone. So they just want you to take a second, just think through if there's any referrals on this, and you can just choose no referral. Again, here's this block to put anything down. And then on commission split. So if we had put a co-buyer agent, they'd pop up down here. And really, this is just if there is someone in the company that you're giving any amount of money to for this deal, maybe they helped you out with inspections or something like that, and you're giving them a percentage or just a $50 flat fee, you could put that in there. That's 100% just internal for the company, and it has nothing to do with the MLS. So once you've gone through commissions, we can do submit. And now we will have our checklist and documents. And this is the end, folks. So I know we're running a little bit longer, but this is the last part. So we have our checklist. Red means required. Once I attach a document, it's going to go yellow, which means the transaction processors are reviewing. You will have the same transaction processor for your entire deal. They get attached to the deal, and so they're the expert with you if there's anything that you're working through. When they review the document, they can give it a green light, say everything's fine. It's going to come back green, completed. If, say, an initial or something is missing, that's going to come back purple. And once they've reviewed everything, you'll get an email saying, hey, here's what we still need. And then at any point in time, you can come check the checklist and see. So there's our sales documents and our closing documents. So now let's actually fill out the checklist. So working with real estate agents, that's required. I can attach. Going to bring me to my documents, and I'm just going to assign this one. So we can see now it's in review. If I made a mistake and they haven't checked it yet, I can just remove document. Or if I'm not sure if I attached the right one, if I click that paper clip, it's going to pop up like, yep, that's the right file. You can also write any comments. And if for some reason the processors have sent back one of your documents because it's not complete, they have to comment and let you know. So you'll get a comment saying, this is marked incomplete because, you know, we need an initial on page 3. So that's kind of what you can do there. And so if we go into documents, we can see our documents. We can upload any more in. So there's 3 ways to get documents into this transaction file. One, anything that's done on the form side, that file that we created, this file and this transaction are like married together. So if you're doing any more forms in that file and they get signed, they're going to come across here because they talk to each other. I can upload any from my computer right here. Or say I got emailed a bunch of PDFs. Each transaction will have a specific email up here at the top. If I just forward the email that's full of PDFs to this email, they'll all get put into this file. If something came back that needed one more signature, say if I click on this, I can click Digisign. And it will walk me through this signed document where I can just drag that extra initial over and resend it out. Let me just show you a little. So see, I mean, if I could just go through all of the incomplete documents, add them in, I can say who needs to sign them. I say, oh, I missed the signature. And then I could just come in here, add that in and send it out. And we're going to just go back to the transaction.
I thought you said that automatically populated.
Yeah, but you know, say if there's a PDF that you would uploaded that missed the signature. Okay. Or that could be if you weren't doing e-signing and it was, you know, they were doing it on paper and they missed something. Just an option of if you had an incomplete document that you needed to get done really quick, you can do it through here with that button. I can assign things from here. I want to assign this as my offer. Sign. And really the last part would be you can rotate anything if, you know, if you copy it in and it's, or someone sends it to you and it's like sideways, you can rotate it, but you also can split it. So I'm just going to get contract. I'm going to upload this document that I have, but it has 2 pieces to it. So I'm going to do split. And then here it's going to show me the document on this side. So I can say, you know, this is my contract. And that's, you know, page 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's page 1 through 3. Now I get into this disclosure. This one. And that's 4 through 5. I can automatically just split any PDFs that I've uploaded and assign them to the checklist if I want. And so really, if you're getting ready to close, if you turned on that notification to let you know like 5 days before you close, you can just go into your transaction, check this checklist. Your goal is for everything to be green or light blue, means you're all cleared to close with that. But this kind of just helps you directly talk to the processors to go over anything. If there's anything in particular, and just, you know, exactly where this deal stands paperwork wise, which is great. And so that's kind of just walking through a deal. Oh, there's any other questions? All right, well, you know where to find me. If you have any other questions, we'll be going over a selling, like a listing side next week. And just let me know if you have any questions, but that's kind of just walking through that buyer side. So